I'm doing this video to talk a little bit about the new photograph that was found of Billy the Kid. It was in 2023, and it's been now what, 140 some years since Billy's death, at least. 1881. Let's do the math here. 1881 to 2024. That's 143 years. 143 years, and July, August, September, October, November, December. And 4 months and so many days. So yes. July, August, September, October. Yeah. 143 years, 4 months, and on the 14th, in about 12, about 2 weeks, about 4.5 months. But anyway, the new photograph, I don't know a lot about that story, but I know that it belongs to a private collector, and I know that it came from Sheriff Whitehill's personal effects. And Sheriff Whitehill was the first guy who ever arrested Billy the Kid in 1875 in Silver City, New Mexico, when the kid was 16. And he arrested him for being involved in the robbery of a Chinese laundry. And I don't believe the kid was necessarily the one that did it, but he had some of the items in his possession. And he was turned in by the owner of the flop house or the hotel that he worked. And Whitehill arrested him and was just going to scare him a little bit. He thought he was going to be in jail for 4 to 6 months waiting on a traveling judge to come through. And he escaped. He went up the chimney and escaped. And this new evidence that was uncovered was an envelope that was time period correct, 100%, been authenticated. And it was typed on the outside of the envelope, Grant County, New Mexico, and Grant County Jail or something like that, and handwritten in, it was Henry McCarty, his legal name, and then it said items on person was an old German coin, $1 American dollar, and a self-likeness in a case. And in that case, it was a small tin-type case, the size of a little bigger than a credit card, and it was folded open. And the paper on the inside, it said Kid Antrim, and it said Silver City photos or something, photography, and it said 1875. And it was very old and faded, and that would be very hard, very difficult to fake, very difficult. And there could have been nothing in this world uncovered that's more direct evidence and provenance going back to that case than that. Any other photograph that would have been uncovered, historians wouldn't believe. And there's probably still a lot of them don't believe this. I just have a feeling there's a lot that don't. I don't know why, but there probably is, and I'll probably find out reasons why. But I'm pretty certain that this is a kid. That photo's a kid. It's an interesting photo. You can really see him. He's a good-looking kid. Doesn't look anything like the picture you see of him. And the reason, you can see the same eyebrows and facial features, but if you take a bad picture of yourself and then a good picture, you don't even look like the same person. And that's the way this is. It's just so interesting to me that finally it was uncovered, For years, there were no pictures of the kid. The only one was in Pat Garrett's book. And that was made from a newspaper image, which the newspaper at that time would have had a carving of the picture, and they would have used that to stamp the picture into the paper. So there was a picture of him, but not an original. And then in 1986, the original was found, and the provenance, it was passed down, chain of custody, went back to the Diedrich brothers, who he had given a picture to. It was very much part of his life. They owned a livery stable in White Oaks. And so now, anyway, this new picture is just incredible. I believe the evidence is there, and I just really hope historians and history will be quite certain that it's correct. I've heard so little of it. It wasn't released to the public until 3 months ago. And since then, I've heard almost nothing about it. But it almost has to. I know that there are serious kid enthusiasts and historians who do believe it, so I'm hoping to hear more about it and find out more about how it was uncovered. And that's all I got to say about that picture.